Welcome to our explainer. Today, we are diving into a book that has truly struck a chord with millions of people, Brené Brown's The Gifts of Imperfection. So, for the next few minutes, we're going to break down its powerful message about what it means to embrace our messy, authentic selves. So, let me ask you something right off the bat. Do you ever feel that constant nagging pressure to be perfect? That feeling that you have to have it all figured out all the time? If you're nodding along, you are definitely not alone. This is the exact feeling Brené Brown gets right to the heart of in her work. So here's what we're going to cover. We'll start with that pressure to be perfect, then look at the shame and fear that fuel it. After that, we'll get into the solution, which she calls wholehearted living, unpack the gifts of imperfection, and wrap up with the book's biggest message, that you are worthy right now as you are. All right, first up, the pressure to be perfect. And listen, this isn't just about wanting to do a good job. It's really the core conflict that this entire book helps us understand and hopefully move past. Now, you have to understand, Brené Brown isn't just an author. She's a researcher. She has spent years and years studying these really human topics: courage, vulnerability, shame. So when she talks about embracing our flaws and all the uncertainties of life, it's not just a nice idea. It's all based on actual research into how we live and connect. Okay, so if the goal is to let go of this need to be perfect, we first have to ask, why do we hold on so tight? Well, that brings us to shame, fear, and uncertainty. These are the big, powerful emotions that keep us chasing something that's just not possible. This chart just lays it all out, doesn't it? On one side, you've got this mask we all wear, the person we think we're supposed to be, hiding our struggles, always seeking approval. And on the other side, that's who we really are: honest, a little flawed, and open to all the uncertainties of life. Brené's research makes it so clear that all of our real strength, our real joy, comes from living on that right side. And that big gap between who we are and who we think we should be, well, that space gets filled up with fear and shame. These are the feelings that really keep us stuck. We hide parts of ourselves, we pretend everything's okay when it's not, and man, do we judge ourselves harshly, all because we're terrified of being seen as imperfect. And that fear, right there, is what stops us from being truly resilient. But here's the good news. There is absolutely a way out of this trap. And that brings us to the core solution in the book, this beautiful idea called wholehearted living. It's Brown's answer to that whole perfectionism problem. So, what in the world is wholehearted living? Well, Brown uses this term to characterize a way of engaging with the world that's built on a few key things we're about to look at. But the starting point, the absolute foundation, is accepting our own imperfection. It's not about being flawless, it's about showing up as our whole selves. And it's all built on these three big pillars: courage, compassion, and connection. That means the courage to be imperfect, the compassion to be kind to ourselves and to others, and the real deep connection that can only happen when we're being authentic. These are the building blocks for a truly meaningful life. Okay, so we know the what, but what about the how? How do we actually do this? Well, let's get practical and talk about the gifts of imperfection. These are the actual things we can practice to start building that wholehearted life. Now, Brown talks about a lot of practices, but we're going to focus on three really big ones today: being authentic, setting healthy boundaries, and practicing gratitude. Let's just quickly break each one down. First up, being authentic. This is all about letting go of who you think you're supposed to be and just embracing who you are. And Brown is very clear. This often feels super risky. It takes real guts to be vulnerable, but her research shows it is the only way to have genuine connection with other people. Next up, setting boundaries. And this isn't about building walls or shutting people out. It's really about honoring yourself. It means having enough self-compassion to say no when you need to protect your own well-being. It's a huge part of living an authentic life. And the third practice is gratitude. This one is so powerful. Brown discovered this incredible link between joy and gratitude. People who actively practice being grateful tend to feel more hopeful and way more resilient. It's not about pretending problems don't exist. It's about taking the time to notice and appreciate the good, even when things are tough. And all of this, the courage, the boundaries, the gratitude, it all leads us to the single most powerful idea in this entire book, our last section. Your worthiness is unconditional. When you boil it all down, the message is actually pretty straightforward. Just let go of that exhausting chase for perfection. Because when you do, you discover the simple, profound joy of knowing that you are enough, right here, right now. This quote really says it all. I'm going to read it, and let's just let it sink in for a second. You don't have to be perfect to be worthy of love and belonging. Look, this book doesn't promise an easy, perfect life, but it offers something so much better, a more real, more honest, and way more satisfying one. So the question it leaves us with is this: are you ready to just show up, imperfections and all,